Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reviewing and demonstrating the latest makeup collection launched by Chanel. It's called Perles Eclat de Chanel. We might have been snubbed here in the States for the spring-summer collection, but we did receive the entire LeBlanc collection, which is this one. This is usually really huge in the Asian market. This is at least the second year in a row now that we have received the entire LeBlanc collection for spring. Sometimes we get bits and pieces from LeBlanc, not always, so I was very excited to see this, and it should be available online starting February 3rd. I will of course update the description box. I will let you guys know as soon as this is available on Chanel.com. Originally, when I saw photos of this collection, I wasn't really that interested. It wasn't until I saw it in person that I completely changed my mind, and of course that does happen. Sometimes the sneak peek photos are a little bit hard to read. The lighting's a little bit harsh, or it's really difficult to tell what the color is. They don't always do the collections justice, and I think that's what happened here. So I picked up most of it. I did skip out on just a few things, and I'm going to demonstrate everything, but first let me show you what I picked up. I would say the star of the show for this collection is the Perles de Lumiere Illuminating Blush Powder. This is the highlighter. You might have already seen photos of this on social media. I remember reading that this was the same shade as Warm Gold, so if you already have the Warm Gold Illuminating Powder, you might decide to skip it, but it's very pretty because it has this gorgeous design embossed on top. Open it up, of course you get the little half moon brush and the little powder protector, but just look how beautiful. I love this design. It reminds me so much of the costume jewelry offered by Chanel. Or it kind of looks like one of the Chanel buttons. Either way, it's absolutely stunning. I love how you have the CCs right in the middle and then the pearls on the outside. And because it's a little bit warmer and has a gold undertone, it reminds me of summer. I think this is going to be a beautiful highlighter for most people. In my collection, I have the Opal Illuminating Powder, and then I have a couple limited edition highlighters that look nearly identical to the Ivory, but I don't have the Warm Gold. So this stood out to me as something that I would definitely want to pick up. Even though I do not need another Chanel highlighter, I just think the color is really pretty and I love the design. So I'm a sucker. This is the expensive limited edition piece from the collection. Now, if you are just done with powder highlighters, and I really couldn't blame you, but you still want something fresh and glowy, you might be interested in one of the new Balm Essentials. There are two new shades, Pearlescent, which is the one that I picked up. This one has this really pretty silvery iridescent sheen to it. It looks a little bit similar to Sculpting, one of the original shades. When this first launched, they came out with the Sculpting and the Transparent. Sculpting is a little creamier. It's a little bit more yellow in undertone, whereas this Pearlescent is more of a silver undertone. It's very pretty. The second shade is called Printanier. It's this really pretty pink. It looks very similar to Rosé without the sheen. It's just a flat pinky balm, really beautiful, but I'm not sure there's going to be much of a distinction between Rosé and the Printanier. If you hate sheen, as subtle as it is, if you don't like it, then I would go with this one. But they're still glossy, balmy. It's a very subtle highlighter. You can barely pick up on the color. Unless you love the Balm Essential and you just want to collect them all, you really don't need them both. If you already have Rosé, you can go ahead and skip the Printanier. I picked up the one eyeshadow quad from the collection. This is 374 Allure Eclat. So much prettier in person than it is in photos. I can't wait to show you. So I mentioned that the LeBlanc collection is always really big in Asia. In fact, they have everything. There's a foundation. I think there's even a concealer. They have powders in the LeBlanc line that we don't get here. But this particular makeup collection, it's always sort of the same. It's definitely a similar color story. So if you remember, I believe it was called LeBlanc et L'Eau, or Le Fleur, LeBlanc et Le Fleur last year. Pinks, purples, iridescent tones, very ethereal, very bridal, kind of fairy tale storybook type of makeup. It's very romantic, but it's more of a soft wash of color. The eyeshadows are generally watercolor, not incredibly deep, not really bold or rich. So you have this really pretty iridescent pink in the top corner, the really deep burgundy purple down here, which is pretty dark and rich for this collection. And then you have two pale shades. This one in the bottom corner is more of a sparkling white. It reminds me of Snow Princess type makeup. And then in the top corner you have another luminous pale shade. So this pink eyeshadow right here is so light. at first it doesn't look like you're even picking up any eyeshadow. I can barely see it in person, so I doubt the camera's picking this up. I can't see it at all in the viewfinder. The same thing is true with this really pretty pale shade right next to it. Now because this is so light and luminous, this definitely shows up on the eye. Then I'm going to go down to this burgundy. What a difference. The burgundy is really nice. The burgundy's pigmented. This purple shade is really pretty. The bottom frosty white is also really beautiful. It's very sparkly. Some people are going to love these shadows, but some people are just going to hate this palette. It's not going to be right for them because they just want really intense color. Not everybody likes sheer eyeshadow, but some people really do like a more natural look. The sparkle is pretty intense, the deep burgundy is intense. The other two shades, you can see them on the eye, but they're still very light. If you're not a fan of the eyeshadow palette, there are two Stilo Ombre A contour sticks. These are the multi-use sticks. It's an eyeshadow, liner, and kohl. I picked up both shades, so this is number 40 Beige Perles and 38 Burgundy Perles. When I saw these, I was so excited. I've never really been drawn to this product by Chanel. I had the Eclat's Pearl Eclat. There was a nude Eclat that was really beautiful. That was the only shade that I ever really loved. I knew as soon as I saw these I needed to have them both, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch these for you. This is the Beige Pearl. Here is the Burgundy. They're both pretty luminous. I don't know what it is about them, but the texture is different. These seem to be a lot softer than some of the originals, so I like these better. I think you could probably use these as an eyeshadow base. As long as you blend it really quickly, as soon as they dry, they're not really going to smudge. There are 5 new lipsticks with this collection. I was able to swatch them in store so I can show you the colors. There are 2 Rouge Coco lipsticks, 2 Rouge Coco flashes, and then a Rouge Allure. I really love both Rouge Coco Flash lipsticks. They are both really sheer. Even the red is really sheer. 154 Douceur looks stunning. It has this really pretty iridescent sheen, but it just goes on way too clear for me. So if you love a clear lip balm, this is kind of a special version of a clear lip balm, but you really don't get very much of that pearl. I don't think you'd really be able to see the sheen on the lips. It's very subtle. 192 Profondeur is described as an orangey rosewood. This is the Rouge Allure lipstick, very pretty. This to me is more of a fall color. So I went ahead and skipped that, and then there are 2 Rouge Coco lipsticks. I almost picked up both, but I talked myself off the ledge because I really need to slow down purchasing lipsticks. That's the one thing I'm definitely on a low buy at the moment. I'm not going to say it's a no buy, definitely a low buy because I didn't go through a single tube of lipstick last year, but I purchased so many lipsticks. So I picked up Tendresse, $4.96, and then they also launched $4.98 Eclat, which is described as an intense pink. It is so pretty. If you're looking for a very deep pink lipstick, I cannot recommend it enough. It's beautiful, but I went with $4.96 Tendresse. This is what I have on my lips right now. You can probably already tell the Rouge Coco lipsticks are not incredibly long wearing. I've only had this on for a little bit now, but it's this really beautiful spring pink. I think this is the perfect everyday pink. The Rouge Coco might not be long wearing, but it's really comfortable, very hydrating. They feel really great on the lips and they have a nice shine. I'm left with a little color. My lips look stained, but they're not as intense pink as they were when I first applied this lipstick. I never mind having to reapply my lipstick, especially if I'm out to lunch or something. That's really the only reason I leave the house right now. So if I am eating or drinking something, I'll generally go to the bathroom or check in a compact look if I need to touch up anyway, even if it's a long wear lipstick. So I don't mind. I like the Rouge Coco lipsticks. The final pieces in the collection are both nail polishes. There's this really pretty pearly burgundy, and then the Pearl Blanche, $8.89. I went ahead and purchased this. It's been a while since I picked up a Chanel nail polish, but I love iridescent shimmer, so I thought this was so beautiful. It goes on pretty sheer. I did paint my nails. I already messed them up. I think I had this on for maybe 10 minutes and I messed them up. So I need to redo but I do really like the color. Now that you've seen the whole collection and I showed you all of the pieces I picked up, I'm going to zoom you in closer and demonstrate this makeup look. As you can see, my face is already done. I already filled in my eyebrows, so I have a bit of a head start. That way we can really focus all of our attention on these particular products. So I'm going to begin with eyes. I pulled out our 374 Allure Eclat palette, which is very beautiful. It's very glowy and luminous. I always like to start with something matte and neutral in the crease, so I did go ahead and pull out just a matte bronzer. This is the Hoola by Benefit bronzer, and I'm just going to buff a little bit of this in the crease. That way we have something to blend. I was trying to figure out if there was a way I could forego this step and just stick to the palette, but there really isn't. These are all really light and shimmery eyeshadows. This is the one dark shadow. If I started with this in the crease, I would have nothing to help blend it out. So I'm going to begin with my bronzer. Not a big deal. I don't mind that a shade like that doesn't come in the palette. There are only 4 shades to begin with. And chances are if you're doing your makeup and you're using that palette, you're going to use a bronzer anyway. So not a big deal. And this is a Refer 15 brush in case anybody's curious. I know they ran out of most of their stock, but these should be in stock, and if they're not, they will be restocked sometime in February, I'm told. These are great brushes. For the lid, I want to go in with this really pretty iridescent pink shade. I'm not sure how that's going to work with the flat brush. I'm going to try, but this is a very sheer eyeshadow. It's meant to be sheer, but it might be best applied with fingers. I'm going to try with the brush first, and then if that doesn't work, I'll just go in with my little finger brush instead. This is a Refer 2. Kind of works. I'm going to try my finger anyway. I actually think the brush is a little bit better. I like the color, it's pretty. It looks a little bit dry on my eyelids. I don't know, maybe that's just my eyelids, but it just kind of looks cracked. It doesn't look really smooth. For a sheer eyeshadow, it is really pretty. I like the color, that iridescent peachy pink, it's really nice. Next, I have a Refer 13 brush, and I'm picking up this deeper shade. It's this really pretty, kind of burgundy purple. This is going to go in the outer V. No fallout, it went on really smooth, blended really easily. This shadow has more pigment to it, which is kind of nice because it's the perfect contrast to every other shade in the palette. With my original brush, no additional product, I'm just going to blend right on top of the crease, make sure that's nice and smooth. It already looks pretty smooth, actually, just in case. With a Refer 3 brush, I'm going to pick up the same burgundy, and I'm going to buff this beneath the lower lash line, concentrating on the outer half of the eye. Same brush, I just wiped it off. I'm gonna pick up this really pretty frosty snow shade right down here. Now I'm going to pop that right in the inner corner of the eye. You want to be kind of careful because this one does have the most sparkle. So we don't want those little shimmery flecks to fall all over our cheeks. But I'm taking it in the inner corner and tear duct. It's really pretty. I like that eyeshadow, just be careful. It's a little bit chunkier, a little bit flaky. So I would maybe go in with a small, flat precision brush, nothing fluffy. This is maybe even a little bit too fluffy. But you can always kind of press it with your fingers. It goes on more like a pressed pigment. Same brush again, I just wiped it off. I'm going into the top creamier shade. This one has less glitter and it's slightly creamier in color. This is going to be our brow highlight. I don't want any glitter, no little flakes on the brow. That's it for now with this eyeshadow palette. I really like the way the pink and purple look. I love this creamier shade right here. It does have little silver flecks. They're just a bit more fine. This chunky shade right here, it probably wasn't ideal for the inner corner. I just wanted to test it out. I think it does look really nice. This would probably look really pretty on the lid, but maybe you'd want to wet your brush or go in with a shadow glue, something like that, a glitter glue. For a really soft, sheer, more watercolor spring eye look, I think this palette is really pretty. Is it going to blow your mind? Is this a must-have palette? Probably not. There are other Chanel eyeshadow palettes that I would say are similar to this. I like what that pink looks like far away. It's only when I look close up I can see how dry it is. I have the burgundy and the beige, so we're going to test both of these. First I'm going to go in with the burgundy. I'm just going to smudge this along the lash line on the top. I love this color. And then I'm just going to use my finger and soften that. I'm going to take it along the bottom as well. With my brush, I'm just going to smudge that out quickly before it dries. I love that burgundy kohl. That's really pretty. That I could see myself using a lot. And now with the brown, or the beige Perles, it's pretty deep. It's a lot more brown than it is beige, but I'm going to take this in the waterline. This eyeliner looks a lot like my Brune Agape, but I think this will probably last me a lot longer, so I love it. I think it looks really pretty. I like these Stilo Ombre contour sticks. I think it's the shade, and they just feel a little bit softer. I'm just going to be so careful to put the cap on quickly so that they don't dry out and get really tough. I did a little black liquid eyeliner on the top lash line and mascara, so now the eye look is complete. Overall, I think it looks really nice. And now I have two highlighters here to try, the Illuminating Blush and the Balm Essential. I'm going to try them both, starting with the Illuminating Blush. This is called Perles de Lumière. I hate to mess up this beautiful design embossed on top. All of the little pearls with the CC in the middle. This is beautiful. I absolutely love this. I didn't even care what the shade was. I don't care that I'm up to my ears with highlighters. I knew I was going to take this home. I don't even want to use it. I want to just keep it pristine forever, but I am going to test it out. Really pretty. I love the shade of this highlighter because it just looks like skin. I can't see the product, all I see is the reflection. It looks really nice. I thought it would be sort of basic since it's kind of a basic color, but it's not. It's exceptional. It's very difficult to make a bad highlighter. I don't think I own a single highlighter that I don't absolutely love, but it's pretty. Now on the other cheek, I'm going to try the Balm Essential in the shade Pearlescent. I thought this was so beautiful. I almost skipped it. I'm going to tap it on with my finger. Ooh. I don't know which side I like more. They're both really pretty. The powder has more of a gold fleshy undertone. This one is a bit more silver pearlescent. The very last product I have here to try is the Rouge Coco Lipstick 496 Tendresse. This really pretty light pink. Ah! Took a bite out of it. Dang, there's a little chunk missing. No lipstick on the teeth this time. It's very pink, but I really like it. It goes so nicely with the entire look. The eyeshadow palette, it's great for spring. And as many lipsticks as I own, I actually don't have a lot of lipsticks in this particular shade. I have plenty of nudes, plenty of reds, but there is a small gap somewhere in the middle. Still going to try to rein it in, but I was happy to pick this up. And I feel like I can go through a Rouge Coco lipstick a lot faster than I can the liquid lipsticks or a matte lipstick, something that I'm really only going to pick up every once in a while. The entire collection is very wearable. This is all very pretty, flattering makeup. I think there's something here for everybody. It just depends on what you're in the market for. This is the finished makeup look using the new product. So just to recap, if I had to choose one favorite piece from this collection, it would probably be the Stilo Ombre Contour Sticks, which is kind of crazy because I've never been a huge fan, but I love these. And for me personally and my collection, what I already own, I'm taking all of that into consideration, this is very different. It's very unique to what I have. So I really like these. I love the way they went on. I love the colors. The burgundy pearl and the beige pearl, I will probably use these as eyeliners, maybe just to smudge along the lash line. I don't like to use these as eyeshadow, even though you can. Maybe a little bit as a base. You can kind of blend it all over the lower lid and then build on top of that. That's really a young girl's game. If you don't have any lines or wrinkles on your eye, then you could absolutely use these as eyeshadow. But I like to use them as eyeliner, kohl's. For smoky eyes, I think these will be really perfect, but I think it looks really nice with the eyeshadow palette as well. So those I'm really excited about. The pink lipstick I think is really pretty, perfect for spring. I don't really use my Balm Essentials that often. I always really like whenever I do use them. I love the way they look. I picked this up because it's different from what I have. I wanted to try the new color. I wasn't able to test it in store. I like this. I really need to make a point to use these more. And it's not because I don't love highlighter. I love highlighter. I bathe in highlighter. I like to dust it all over my face, all over my body. But I don't necessarily want this sticky, balmy texture all over my face, all over my body. So that's why I generally opt for powders. But if you are a big fan of the Balm Essential, this pearlescent shade is a little bit different. I like the eyeshadow palette. I think of all of the pinky purple eyeshadow quads offered by Chanel, this is my favorite, just because I think these two shades are perfect. I wish they had given us something else. I think this is a little bit redundant, and that's what I didn't really like about the photo. I didn't understand it. I knew I needed to see it in person because I thought, why are there two very similar light eyeshadows? Well, they have a different finish, but they're still too close. And this seems kind of funny, this really frosty white. Reminds me of that topper they came out with 2 falls ago. It's the Ombre Premier Top Coat 317 Carte Blanche. Just gonna kind of see what the difference is. That is the same. You cannot tell me that's different. That is exactly the same. Okay, so now I feel a little bit different about this eyeshadow palette. I still don't mind it. I like it. I don't love the fact that it's a repeat. Maybe they had leftover shadow from that collection because It doesn't really go with the quad. These three go because this has a little bit of a creamy undertone, but this kind of seems like an oddball. Doesn't really make sense with the other three eyeshadows. It's very frosty. Reminds me so much of winter. I feel like I need to be somewhere cold and to wear this eyeshadow palette, but I do like it. On the flip side, I feel like this highlighter is perfect for a warm climate. This just makes me think of summer. It takes me to the beach instantly. Even though those are pearls, it looks like the sun. It's beautiful. I love this highlighter. I think this is my favorite of the two. If you just love the limited edition special designs, of course you're gonna pick this up and I think you'll be really happy. And then the last piece I picked up from the collection, this Pearl Blanche nail polish. This is just really fun. This might be the one piece you decide to pick up from the collection if you're kind of on the fence about everything else. I hate to say it, but I don't blame you. Don't get something just because it's limited or it's special or you think it's going to sell out quickly and you'll never see it ever again. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. There are constantly new launches being fired at us from all directions, so you will see something that you love 100% probably next week. That completes today's review and demonstration. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this collection? Are you excited? Did you see anything interesting, or are you just kind of over it and already looking forward to fall? Let me know down below in the comment section. We will keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.